Okay. I think we're back.
All right. Well,
We're back now.
I didn't like that pause
We'll pause.
from between the different sounds.
No, you can't hear it on the laptop, but it does have. It's like a refrigerator running. It's like a.
It's just like a word.
It's like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's meant to like disorient you, and then I added some beeps to just, cause you're now in another dimension. You know, I think I need to turn myself down.
Sounds good.
A ver, habla.
I am talking. Check, check. 1, 2. Uno, dos, tres. Sonido, sonido, sonido.
Okay, I see. Okay, I need to turn myself down probably. All right, so we walk. Okay, first of all, we apologize, but we really don't. Yeah, we've been on a short hiatus for several reasons. Not several, just two reasons.
Yeah, we got life, bro.
Yeah, we got stuff going on. One of them included Super Bowl. Shout out to the whoever won, Patriots.
Eagles.
Oh yeah, the Eagles won. Nick Foles out here proving he's not just a second string quarterback, unless he just had a moment and now he's going back to obscurity again. And then I moved for the first time ever in my life. That was the second reason. My cousin over here was helping me move.
Yeah, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, it was really like fridges and stuff. Who knew? Who knew getting them down 3 flights of steps would be so difficult, and a stove too. But lucky we got here.
Yeah, we back in it.
We
the
back.
Whining Road Podcast.
Whining Road Podcast is
Gonna light up
episode
your
4.
ears
Yeah,
with some fire. Get them toast ready.
get them toes ready for this
And that
knowledge. Have you seen that YouTube, dude?
The what?
It's like knowledge with glasses. Hey, it's me. I'm in my garage. You never seen that guy?
No.
He says he pays for so many ads and he pops up. And he's like, "Hey, it's me in my garage here," and he has like he has a stack of books, and he's just talking about how to make money. He's like, "Hey, man, knowledge." He just drops knowledge. Okay, so this is episode 4 of the Whining Road Podcast. This episode was called "Hang the DJ." I fuck
Blackberry
with that title so hard. I fuck with that title, right?
That's a pretty good title.
Hang the DJ. And it had nothing to do with anything except for at the end they played a song called "Hang the DJ." Or
Well, it is all
it
kind of
does have
connected
something.
because so the premise of the episode
Yeah,
is
you do your thing, man. Set
a
it up.
dating thing or whatever. You're stuck in this world, going through several different relationships that are chosen for you, with the hopes of ending up with the one at the end. At the end. Why do I have to be so close? This is
No, because the wave is doing the wave. Because I don't know, the wire probably weaker. But
No.
keep going. Okay.
Yeah, so you had
There you go.
hopes of being with the one in the end. They choose your ultimate match, but you can't, and then you can't leave. That you're like in an enclosed area, and you can't leave until you've been paired with the one. But it turns out that it was really just a bunch of computer simulations in your phone through a dating application, and then it gave someone like 2 people who were at a party telling them that they were 99.8% compatible.
Yeah. What exactly does that 99.8? So it meant 998 times they
Out
did
of
like
1,000.
each other, right?
Out of 1,000, so the computer app ran 1,000 simulations. 998,000 of those times, 998 of the 1,000 times, they ended up together, and they ended up rebelling against what they thought was the system.
Right. So in the simulations, rebelling against the system means so the system is never gonna set you up that way. It's just a test, like the girl was saying.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was like that's the test that they run for all of them.
I think that might be it for everyone, dude.
But
I think everyone wants to run away, and that's how the system knows.
Yeah, but who do you want to run away with? I guess is what they.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of it.
Depends. But yeah, so then they ended up. So that really kind of bothered me that like it was just basically just an app, and all that whole episode probably happened within 2 seconds.
Well, yeah.
Of her like swiping right or whatever the application asks you to do to see how compatible you are with this other person.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible stuff. It didn't bother me at all that it wasn't real, because I really really liked the story in it. I really appreciated Even though it was just dude, we're all simulations anyways, bro.
Yeah, I know, but it was just like
Did it really take away meaning for you? It didn't take away anything
They
from
didn't
me.
take away meaning. It's just like it's just a little bit. I'm a little bit like, dude, why did I spend like an hour to watch something that's like had no consequence to them at all?
It did.
Almost.
It did have consequence because that's how they know they're paired. It didn't have meaning to us because it was just a simulation, but to the characters in it, it had meaning. But it did have
But
meaning.
then I'm like swiping right on Tinder, and I'm like, hey,
dude.
998 simulations say we're a match. Just kidding. It just all depended on whether or not we swipe right to each other.
All right, so let's get into this. Man, dude, I like Black Mirror so much, man. I really enjoy it. And you could, like, it starts off right, and I could right away start seeing where they're going with this, and it's critique on systems.
Mm-hmm.
The system of dating that we have today is Black Mirror takes this is facts for me. Black Mirror takes things that we already do and makes them technology so that we can realize we're doing them. Okay? Do you know what I mean? And for example, in
like I get what you're saying. Like it takes whatever things that already exist today, and it just puts them to an extreme, sort of. Is that what you're saying?
Takes them it's not to an extreme. It's not an extreme because we already do them, unless you consider what we do today extreme. So I'll give you two examples. One of them is remember the eye vision memory thing? That's just, we already do that. It's called memory. That's what we do. And for this one, we already do it. It's called dating. That's what we do. So it takes two human things that we've created and adds technology to them so that we could realize what we're doing. Because trying to explain it in human terms, there's too much. We're gonna be like, oh, of course that's how it is. But if you put it in a world that's different, it allows us to see what we are by separating from us. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what I mean.
I know what you mean. It's just it puts you in perspective because of how they use like technology to explain our everyday situations.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to put it. It takes technology to explain. So this is not like a fantasy show. This is really a documentary, bro. This is really a documentary after documentary explaining to you what happens. So we're in a system of dating, right? Going after person after person after person, trying to find the one, and that's what happened in the thing. But that's what we do, right? Only a few percentage of people realize that's what we're doing, but you don't realize you're doing it. Do you want to talk about like the whole part of that was like the basis of it, the timing thing?
Yeah. So like I see what you're saying. Is this you're put in? You generalize yourself to be in this whole world of relationships, and this innate need to be with someone forces you to sort of go through this rigmarole of dating. What we call dating, be like, hey, I think I like this person, let me go talk to them, and then you go talk to them, and then you realize after a short period of time
They're kind of trash.
They're trash, and you don't really want to be with them, and then you move on quickly, or sometimes it takes a really long time for you to figure out
that's the worst.
that you don't want to be with them, right? But it's just like you're not, your time with that other person isn't defined unless until you like finally say, yeah, it's over. Whereas in this episode, they're like defining the relationship, the length of the relationship, and everyone's experience is different, right? They're also saying that because the guy like had like one short and then one long, and then like no relationships.
Oh yeah, he was done for a long time, right?
Yeah, and
for
then
like 3 months.
and then she had
She
one
had, like,
relation,
20
the short
back-to-back.
one with him at the beginning. Then she had a really long one. Then she had a bunch of really short ones.
Yeah.
And then she went back with him, and then she had a bunch of other short ones as well. I didn't really show like what happened to him after the second time that he hooked up with her, that they got back together.
He was just kind of like,
But
I
I think
think
he was just alone again. Like he just had no relationships after that, and it's just like it's like very, very well exemplified. Like you're saying, exemplifies how dating happens today, where it's just like, I mean, it's probably the same way that it was before. It's just before our time or whatever. It's just you go through this relationship because you're told that love exists and shit, and one day you're gonna find this one person.
That's the way.
But if you don't go looking, if you don't go try to find that person, you're never gonna find them. So you subject yourself to
Tell me about it.
this dating life,
Super
that people
trash
call it,
life. Yeah.
because you in hopes of finding that love that you keep being told exists.
All right, man. Let's just ask it. Is love real? I'm asking you.
It's subjective. I don't know. It's
Okay,
like,
so if you're saying it's subjective, then you're saying it doesn't exist objectively. So you're saying it's not real unless you believe in it.
yeah, and unless you like are super, I don't know.
Your
Like
your answer.
I believe you can be like super like into someone, and you could really want to be with them, and you want to like you really really like them. But like how we define love is like such an extreme emotion. I don't know if it really truly exists.
Yeah,
for
no one
someone,
lives up to it.
for someone to for someone else other than like your family. But that's just because like
Interesting.
you're
You took
in
you
constant
took a turn there.
you're in constant interaction with your family. You're sort of forced to like them or not like them. Like you're forced into interactions with them, so you can like or not like them. But like there's just this inherent feeling of compassion and love,
Of kinship.
affection for your mom and your dad or whatever, and your
I
your
would.
siblings.
This is an interesting turn you took.
I really I think it's really difficult to say that can happen with someone else.
Someone else other than family.
Yeah.
Okay, first I got a couple questions. Okay, so you took a turn when you said family and you brought family and familial. I don't know if that's a word, but the love you display for your parents and family, I've always considered that to be separate from romantic love. You consider it like one and the same?
Yeah, kind of, because I mean, it's it's gonna be different kind of love, I guess, but it's not gonna be, to me. It's like,
It has to be different in my opinion, dude.
yeah, of course it is different, but it's just like it's still you have to love. Love is love, however we define it.
How do we define it?
Some stupid like, do you love each other? Do you really like each other? You like
Yeah,
spending time
I
with
just
each
thought
other?
of a phrase,
You're each other's best friend. All that lovey-dovey bullshit.
It's not bullshit, it's facts, bro.
But like, I don't know. I don't really think it's.
You don't think it's a real thing? You think?
I think we hype it up so much
I agree with that.
that like we become like almost immediately disappointed by something.
Yeah, setting
When
high
it-
expectations.
When like you find someone and you like really really like them, but then you're like
They don't meet up.
they meet the expectations, but then you're like very surprised when it's not like constant. Like it's not like you're not like, constantly
Yeah,
in love with them or whatever.
totally know what you're
gonna be
talking about.
Sometimes where like you're gonna not like each other, but like as soon as that happens, like we just like it immediately, like I don't know. For me, it like kind of goes away or comes away.
It fades and then comes back. It's like a wave thing. There are days, of course. It's not gonna be static. You don't get to a plateau and stay in the plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you will get to a plateau, so you know that it's a plateau is possible. But there's always gonna be valleys,
Yeah.
and I think what love is the willingness to come up to try to get back to the plateau,
Mm-hmm.
to try to stay there as long as possible. Versus when you see things dipping, just deuce out, man. Like,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
like so like for me personally, like it's really tough for me to express this whatever stuff, you
Mhm.
know, and
Nah, you're doing a good job. I appreciate your ESTJ way of explaining this.
and I don't honestly I don't ever really think that I can ever really like
Gasps.
really 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 tell someone that I love them and truly mean it.
Oh man, that's cool. That's a fire quote.
Like I don't know, like I haven't like met someone that I'm like, cool, really like, great with or whatever, but like, and I've met people that I'm really have fun, blah blah blah, but like I don't like, I always, this is something like I constantly struggle with it myself, within myself, and I'm just like,
Totally.
if I ever do like meet someone and and we're really cool and I like her and like I really want to spend, I always want to spend time with her, even then, like if I tell her that I love her,
Right.
do I really mean it?
You don't.
I don't know if I can mean it, because it's always been really tough for me to explain, to be emotional,
Right.
like with like just to be expressive of my feelings,
Right.
like other than like like watching movies or like or whatever. Because
Through art.
I'm always very like sympathetic with characters in films and
That's totally
whatever
me. Yeah, like we
and
were watching it.
movies and stuff. But like whenever it comes to like me to like really feeling that like that anger or that frustration or that love or that happiness, it's just like
You don't think you
I never really like feel it.
it's not as vivid to you as it is when you're watching something.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I'm just in a constant state of like,
Just kind of like underwhelmed.
yeah, I'm just like really emotionless for the
Slightly
most part.
checked out emotionally and underwhelmed.
Yeah, and I notice it when I talk to other people, and other people talk to me, and like girls that I've like talked to
You have
before.
you have an aura of disinterest.
Yeah, like they talk to me and they're like they seem so genuine and so nice and just saying like really expressive of themselves.
Yeah, and with enthusiasm.
And then and then I'm talking and I'm just like, hey, yeah, that was cool. I really like that. That was cool. Like there's like no
Oh my
emotion or
god,
expression in my way of communicating. It's all just like
dude!
direct.
Let me tell you, this
It's
is
all just like super direct.
everything you're saying makes so much sense.
Which is why I have that feeling that I can't ever say to someone that I love them.
You
I
love
can
them.
say it and think I mean it, but do I really mean it?
You don't think? Okay, all right. Let's try to unpack this. So as usual, as complicated. It's not gonna be explained, but I think there are a few sources of where this is coming from. You said you're relating to art and movies and music. One, as INFP, I'm telling you, it can be real, but like you said, the expectations are way too high, and we're creatures of relativism. So relatively speaking, if we see something, because dude, I think it was like some stat like 90% of songs are about love or something like that. I don't know, totally eyeballing it, but point is, we're raised to believe that this thing of love is like this thing that cures everything. Even in the Bible, love is patient, love is kind, love is forgiving, love does not hold grudges. There's like a whole passage on what love is, right? And it's supposed to be the most, and I get so touched every time I read that verse in the Bible, and that's what we're striving for. It's a goalpost. It's a thing that we're never gonna reach. Why? Because the reality does not let us reach there. We can only go towards it, and it's okay that we don't reach it. It's a thing in the distance, and as long as you stay on the path towards going towards it, you don't have to worry about ever getting there. The meaning isn't towards working towards that goal. You don't have to be tripping about whether you actually mean it, as long as you're trying to mean it, as long as you're trying to make it work with this person. If you that's an easier question than do I love them. Asking yourself, am I trying to love them? That's the question is as close as we can get. I don't think we can ever answer to ourselves, do I love this person? Because to answer that question is to have been to the promised land, and then to have something to compare yourself to, which no one in humanity has ever reached, I don't think, in my opinion. But as long as you're trying to, I think that's the beauty in it, in trying to get there. And that's why we have meaning despite never experiencing love, because there is meaning in trying to get towards it.
I don't know, man. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend pretty exhibited.
I
That's
think
just because John Legend's the fucking awesome.
John Legend, I think they hate each other's guts, bro. They're not. I don't think anyone is there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
I know.
think
I'm just saying that was just a joke because
Chrissy Teigen?
John Legend's songs are just
He's
crazy.
really on there, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, he's really on about
And
that.
that's another thing for me too, because like I'll listen to his songs and I'll listen to like Sam Smith and stuff. I just think it's a nice song. Like they're nice songs. They're pretty songs.
It's beauty
But
manifest.
they don't ever exhibit or not exhibit. Sorry, is it? I don't even know if that's the right word.
It is, yeah.
Exhibit like those. Like I don't ever.
They don't.
I
They don't
really
elicit
feel-
those sort of.
elicit. Rather you go. They don't elicit feelings from me. Whatever. I just really like the song.
Oh, you're saying you don't. They like if they're talking about how much they love their girl. You don't internalize that. You're just like aesthetically. objectively this is a good chord progression.
Yeah,
Bruh.
this is a good song.
That's
And
okay.
then there'll be other people that are just like listen to it, like, oh my god, that's a
That's
good.
that's me, man.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. It's like him. I remember that one time, you
Dude.
know, and I'm just like, this is a nice song.
This is a super solid
This is a solid
keynote.
song. This man knows how to throw
Yeah,
down.
his vocal range is impeccable.
Yeah,
I can see that. That's really interesting. That how so the world of subjectivity, you discredit it. Is that why you don't give
I
it
think
equal
so.
meaning to objective thing?
I don't
Because it's
know.
subjective, because it can be malleable, you don't give it its proper due. Because it's malleable, because it's subject to
I wouldn't
change.
say that. It's just like sometimes certain things I'm just like that's bullshit. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like I only subscribe to quantitative studies or something like
No,
that
we're all a
or
mix.
quantitative things. But for the like sometimes just like subjective and qualitative aspects of life are just like
They're
hit or miss with me.
right.
It's I don't always see the point or see the what someone is trying to tell me with it or whatever or what the meaning of it is. But it isn't that I'm just like completely shut off from it. Like sometimes I try to understand it. I try to go into it, but it's just like it doesn't resonate with me.
It doesn't, but you're saying it sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does, you know. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like I don't know.
Could you like give me an example of when it does, so I could try to, so you could try to see maybe why that in specific resonated with you?
Uh, well, cause like friendships, like those really, I enjoy my like my friends that I have right now. I think we're all really close and we're all really cool with each other. And like if I ever like just stop hanging out with one of them, that's okay. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, hey, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Hang out. And it'll be like the exact same
It'll be like where
that
you left off.
where it was before. Like that doesn't go away. And so the fact that that happens is like I'm just like, dude, that's legit.
Right.
I won't ever lose this person, this friend that I have that I really enjoy spending time with, but due to circumstance, like they're in a different state or something, and or I'm like really busy or they're really busy, and then we come back, we get free time to hang out with each other. It's not like like we may be different people, but the friendship is still as strong as it was before the last time we hung out.
Okay, that's a good example, and that's an example of something that's subjective and that you find like meaning in having. It's really kind of interesting.
Yeah, I
Um,
really value like all my friendships. Like it's like one of those things that just like
you have a big circle.
yeah, and like well, kind of like I have a big outer circle, but like
Core.
I have a pretty strong core of people that I like always hang out with, and we're really chill, and it's just like those people are just always gonna be there, regardless of circumstance or whatever, and I really value their friendship a lot.
You routinely seek out? Would you be proactive in setting things up?
Occasionally, yes, but for the most
Mostly
part,
they invite you to
yeah,
things.
a
They
lot of the
start the
stuff
convo.
like I've become like a lot of engaging with people, but most of the time they come to me
Mm.
because I'm so cool. No, but no, not really. Not at all, not at all because of that. No, it's just like
Like you better want to hang out with me, man.
I don't know. It's like a mix of both.
Dude, I'm on the other
There's
side.
only like some there's like a few people that I'll reach out to and be like I'll be like just sitting there and be like, hey, what you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
Hang out. But I really enjoy. Sometimes I just really enjoy my thing, just being by myself, and like and then also like I've never really been one to just like reach out to people to be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Hey, do
No,
you
me
want to hang
neither,
out?
man. This is something new to me too.
Like I'll always just like and whenever I contacted someone before, it would just be like because I needed something.
Yeah, that's like me.
You're like, hey, what you doing? Do a little small talk. Hey, and they're like, oh, did you get the notes or something? Or it's like, or hey, did you see this thing? Can you pick this up for me? Where you at? Oh, I'm in, and I'll know that they're like eating somewhere. Hey, bring me some shit.
That's facts. Interesting. So for you, it's like a mix. You had to put a number to it. It's like it would be like what, like 60-40 that they reach out to you. The ratio of you reaching out to, or like 80-20,
No, it wouldn't be that high. It'd be like, yeah, like 70-30.
70-30. I am so trash. Because I never really, bro. Um, I'm probably like 9 out of 10. Someone else would start up something. Hey, you wanna like hang out? You wanna like study? Or you wanna go get something to eat or whatever? That is like 90-20. I mean 90-20, like 90-10. You mentioned your circle of friends. I probably have like 3 friends, bro. Like straight up just 3. And and if you count, like probably like 4. And regularly I probably talk to 2. The way you put it was really cool. You said you like valued them and stuff and all of that. I'm trying to see, bro. Hold on. What the hell?
See, what do you mean?
Um, yeah, of course. I'm trying to see if I value. It sounds kind of blunt, but like if I value my friends. Cause the fact that I don't reach out, and actually one of them brought it to my attention. She was like, "Yo, how come, like, you're never the one that starts a convo or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh," and it was like she like the broke the ice, like broke a glass with me. I was like, and then I looked back, like I was like, nah, I definitely. And then I went back to the convo. Yo, she's starting at everything, right? And I was like, huh, right? And it's not, and it's definitely not that. Well, I don't know, help. I was even trying to with her about it, and we didn't really come to a conclusion. Like you said apart, you enjoy just being by yourself. Obviously, I do, and you're extroverted and I'm introverted. And that's just what comes with that. Um, so I'm trying to see if that makes me a bad person for not reaching out. Does that mean I not value them?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it means that. It's
What
just
does it
like
mean? It has to mean something.
it's just who you are, I guess. Cause like me, like I can go perfectly. I'm perfectly okay going like weeks without talking
I go
to my
months.
friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it just be like, or like I won't even pick up my phone some days. Like, and then I'll be like, oh shit, somebody texted me, and then whatever. But like I'm perfectly okay with just not talking to anyone.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean you don't value
That
them.
doesn't mean I don't value their friendship or whatever, and I don't want to see them, and I wouldn't enjoy spending time with them. It's just like
By default,
by default, I'm just not doing it.
okay, there you go. So by default, I'm not like that. And there's some people that are default like that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people just constantly want to be in social interactions, and they want to be they live off that stuff. They feed off of it. But like
Interesting.
to a certain extent, I kind of do, but not really, because I still like sort of am. I may like you call me an ESTJ or whatever. I may be extroverted, but not to the extent that others are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm,
You're gonna depend on the mood. You're gonna
yeah,
be in the center of the distribution.
yeah. I'm gonna be with people, but like if it's not like someone that I'm like cool with or comfortable with, like my friends, then I'm not gonna talk. Pretty much, it's gonna be like me just being there laughing. Maybe every once in a while I'll say some random shit, but like I really, I kind of quiet down a little bit sometimes.
If you quiet down in what scenario? Sorry about that.
In like group scenarios.
Okay, that's me, man.
In like group scenarios, I quiet down, even more so if
If
like
it's around people you
if
don't
it's
know.
around people I don't really know that well.
Yeah, that's me for sure. It's because
Unless sometimes I just don't give a shit, and I'll just be like whatever.
yeah, that's secondary. But if that's all right, that's an interesting. We're so far away from the episode, which is about love. But all right, putting yourself in a scenario where you're with friends or friends you don't particularly care for. That is a thing that I despise because it's like it already takes a lot for me to like hang out with you, right? And that's because I value who you are as a person. That's what motivated me to get out. And if I'm put around people that I have no investment in, like friendship wise, like I'm not trying to figure out who you are, man. I'm sorry, like I'm not unless I am, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really like turns me like shuts me down, like puts like a mute button on me. sounds kind of like really harsh, but yeah, I I quiet down a lot in that scenario, and it has to do with that, with just not really wanting to expand who you are. I mean, I just don't particularly care.
Hmm. See, for me, I don't know if it's that if that's why
You just
I
don't.
quiet
It seems
down.
like you quiet down because you're like whatever, man. Like you're indifferent towards it.
Yeah, cause like so like even so even yesterday, not yesterday, sorry, this weekend, like on Friday, it was me, my roommate, and a couple friends from that work or whatever, and we were they came over. We went to go eat dinner, and we were talking and stuff, and like I just didn't talk as much as I would if it was just me and my roommate. Well, I guess that's it because it's just two people. But like,
Yeah, you
since there was four of them, and then like sometimes if there's a dominant personality in the room, then I'll just like
get put to the side. Like all
succeed.
right, yeah, whatever.
I'll
And
just like
do their
I'll
thing.
like succeed and just be like, all right, you're like you're the alpha in the room right
Yeah.
now. Like if there's a dominant personality like that, but it's just like and that when that happens, I just like that's why I quiet down. I think if there's a dominant personality, and it also depends on how the dynamic is supposed to be. And but then even but if it's my friends, I'll force it. Like I'll just start talking or whatever and throwing myself into the conversation because then it just like it gets weird.
It gets weird if you don't assert your dominance in your group of friends.
Yeah. Well, for me it gets weird because then I'm just like I'm not even saying anything.
And this is people I'm supposed to like. Or
Yeah,
what?
these are my friends or whatever. I'm supposed to like these guys.
Oh, I see. And then with the other people,
Yeah.
you don't have any
But with people that I've known for a while, I'll just like I'll I won't shut up. Like I'll just and then like I'll be even more myself and I'll be like I'll make even more jokes because I like to think that I'm
Like
a
the thing,
humorous person or whatever.
I can objectively, most objectively say you're a pretty funny guy, man.
So then like whenever I'm put in a new group or whatever and a group dynamic and also depends on the social situation, I'll quiet down and I won't tell as many jokes because I have to like follow the conversation. I have to focus on the conversation itself, whatever they're talking about, and see if I
Mhm.
can contribute. And most of the time, I'm like, dude, I don't even have anything to say about this crap. Like, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, a lot of times it comes down to preferences and interests.
Yeah.
So you're saying in a group, around your friends, you'll try to switch the convo to something you find interesting.
No, 'cause most of the time we'll talk about stuff that I find
Oh, cause
interesting.
you're your friends. It's
Yeah.
already like inherently selected
Yeah,
that you
it's all
will.
like inherently
That's why
interesting
you're
to all
their friends.
parties.
That's
That's
why
why
you're
we're
the.
friends.
Yeah. Okay.
But like with new people, like it's tough for me to like
Oh, cause you're not
to put
interested in
to put
them.
myself into it as much. And then like it was even more evident in high school when like if you ask any of the people that I'm still friends with from high school, they'll just be like, "Bro, we didn't even hear your voice at
Right.
all, like once."
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. So then like, and I like sort of regret that, but then sort of don't because then like in college I like completely changed to the person I am today.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Became really different, and then now all of them like they like that I'm still people that are from high school that I'm still friends with. They're like, dude, you're like so different right now. Like you're a lot more outgoing, blah blah blah. And they
Yeah,
like that or
personal
whatever.
growth. Yeah.
So then, because all those guys were really outgoing people, and like which is why they were like very accepting of me in high school, and then in college, some of them went to college with me. So then,
Mhm.
like there, it just like we became actual friends because
Mhm.
me and we ended up living with each other sometimes or whatever.
Yeah.
So then, and then how I changed and who I became just became this like sort of half intro, half
You're
extrovert kind
okay.
of thing.
Are you familiar with the what's it called, the normal distribution in
Yeah,
statistics? So I mean, you're in the big lump.
yeah, and then
So it depends on your mood.
yeah,
I would
depends
be
how I
towards
feel.
on the tail ends, definitely.
You're an
Uh,
outlier. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm like way out on the edges. So all right, that gives me comfort. Knowing where I stand and knowing where you stand. Um, Going back to this, what were some? Okay, I wanted to touch on the timing thing. So in the simulation, they knew exactly how long they were going to be together,
Mm-hmm.
and that really affected how they acted towards one another, knowing that it wasn't real. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If they believed it was gonna be short, it ended up being short. Like they had no what they were forced. They weren't forced, so they could leave at any time they wanted.
No, I think they had to stay.
They had to stay in
Because
there.
he asked the little coach thing. He said when he was supposed to be with that one girl for a year, he said, "So I can't just leave." He's like, "No, you have to stay. And you have
Oh.
to be a part. You have to like see it all out. Otherwise, you're like out of the game, or you're not a participant anymore. You've violated the rules, and you'll be banished from doing that thing ever again."
Oh man.
So you had to abide by all the timelines that you were given for your relationships.
Oh, that kind of like, oh, that's different. And then like being a simulation, it kind of changes a lot of meanings I thought I had already about it. Um, all right, so forget the timing thing. That's like
Yeah.
weird. I just got weird because it was like they were forced, but then there were computer simulations, so it was kind of weird.
Yeah. So there. I mean, she says it. The girls, the main girl. She says it. She explains it like very well. She says like she was going after like fling after fling. She was kept having all these relationships for only 36 hours, and every time she found out that it was just 36 hours, the more and the more she did it, that like the less invested she was, the less attached she was. Like she said, I become so numb and so detached every time I know that it's gonna be short.
Right.
And
That's
I'm just there for nothing, pretty
for
much.
36 hours. That's kind of like a thing that
Just
I've
wasting
always
my time. In a
wasting
way.
time because, but she knew. Oh man.
So she's just wasting time until she like was forced or put into the situation where she was gonna
But
be with
then
the one.
like ask the question: was she really wasting time? Was she wasting time because she knew it was gonna be so short, or was she wasting time because she genuinely didn't vibe with the person?
It's both. I think she said like every time she found like she's
Oh,
just
this is
like
like an endless circle loop.
yeah. Every time she was like she wanted it to mean something, but then she's like, oh, it's 36 hours. I don't.
So it didn't. So she made it. She made her thoughts reality.
Yeah, so it didn't. It ended up not meaning anything because she was like, oh, it's just 36 hours.
But then it didn't mean anything.
What can I really get out of this interaction, this
Bruh.
relationship, if it's so short?
Dude,
She
that
couldn't get anything out of
is
it.
literally a circle. You don't find it meaningful because you think it's 36 hours, and then it's 36 hours because it's not meaningful, and then you
Yeah.
don't think it's meaningful because it's 36 hours. It's a circle.
Right.
All right, that is getting us nowhere in the conversation.
They
So
feed,
it's
they
an endless
feed
circle.
into each other. They feed each other.
Yeah, and what I hate circle. I hate cycles like that, man. It's like that whole like when you try to explain like backwards time travel. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't do it if you could, but then you could, and then it's a circle. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
The paradox.
All right, we're not messing with that. All right, let's go to the.
I thought it was an interesting paradox.
It is really interesting, but it just kind of like gets me frustrated because they just fade into each other for infinity,
Right.
which is interesting.
It's like it's what a paradox is, right? It's just
Yeah, like something that can't be but is. I really like the whole. I think I even mentioned it when we were watching it. I really appreciated the whole imagery of climbing over the wall into the unknown with your partner, because I think that's what we do already. You choose a partner and you're like, okay, man, I choose you on some Pokemon type. I choose you, and then we're gonna go into this unknown voyage. We have no clue how long we're gonna be together or what's gonna happen to us, but I just know that I want to do it with you, and that's the way that a selection was made. Because it relates to the whole that life is suffering and being confused all the time, and as you grow old, I mean, at any moment we don't know the future. Okay, we don't know the future. The future is not real. We have no evidence of it. If someone asks you, well, what's the future, you're gonna be like, well, it's something that hasn't happened, but I know it's gonna happen. Okay, you just gotta trust me. The truth is not real unless we're there. Same thing with potential. So a potential with a relationship, or the potential within yourself, we treat it like it's a real thing, when really there's no way, man. There's no way of getting there. It's just we think that's gonna happen, and that's what makes it real, because we think that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really like that they were going. They were so ready to face the monsters, the darkness, and the unknown together. They were like, "Fuck it, dude. That I choose you. This is what we have to do," and they had to do
Right.
it together. They chose each other to do it together. I think that's why it's so. I think that's why humans have decided to pair with one another, because the perils of life and going through it alone, man,
It's rough.
it's
It
a,
can be rough. Yeah.
it is a rough life, man. It's to have no one to complain about, or to just know, hey man, are you seeing the same shit I'm seeing? Like, are you are you in this much pain too? Just just tell me you are. But you have no one. You're like, I'm just fucking crazy right now. What the fuck? Like, I don't know. What's going on? And
Yeah.
to have someone, I think that's why cultures all around the world have exhibited partnerships in some capacity. I know some have like polygamy and stuff and all that, but I think that's why humans have gravitated towards being away from existential crisis, even though that's not the way we've interpreted it. I
Mhm.
think really finding a partner is about finding someone, like the show so beautifully portrayed, about finding someone to go into the unknown with. And I think that's what. And maybe if you want to get really cliche right here, maybe, right? So they're climbing over the wall. You
Mhm.
choose someone.
Yeah.
Maybe love is the light that's shining a few steps ahead of you
Oilo.
as you go into the darkness.
Oilo.
Yo, that's what love is. It's a light. It's a light that shines, but it can only shine you 2 steps ahead. Oh my god. Oh.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
Oh.
I do believe that,
Help
because I
me.
think you're like 100% spot on with the whole like seeking a partner for life thing, because we're all just really afraid of life.
Yeah.
And we're all just
Fear.
like anything, any hardship face or anything that you may not see coming and that happens, and the fear of being attacked by life, it's just
It's a vicious,
it's
brutal,
just it's
cold
just
world.
awful. But if you're with someone, it makes it a little bit less awful,
A little bit less.
because you can share in that, that feeling that you're just like, man, this shit is real rough out here right now. But I got my person with me. We're gonna face that shit together. Fuck 'em,
Yeah.
And but if you're like alone, then you're like in constant seeking of that other person. So then that makes it even more rough, because you're like trying to find someone to face the roughness while you're trying to face the roughness.
Dude, it's
You're trying to defend yourself while you're trying to find someone else to help defend you.
yeah, it's about building a partnership, and
Yeah, but then once you find that person, you're just like in constant state of battle or whatever. Not with them, but with other people or
also with
with
them.
other events. And I mean, yeah, I guess sometimes also with them.
That's the thing that penetrates it. Nothing is impenetrable to the darkness.
So then you're just like always trying to keep the partnership from breaking up.
And
And it's
it will.
easier with others than it is with than with some or whatever.
Yeah, because that just depends, yeah. On
And so then that's
your
what you're saying. Like it becomes, when you do find someone that is like super easy to do that with, to defend the partnership,
oh, it's a beautiful thing.
then it's you're just like, bro,
And that's what
we're gonna reach that light.
and that's
That
what
light's gonna be ours.
and that's what these people sing about. That's what poets write about. That's what authors write about.
Mhm.
And that's what TV producers try to capture in films.
Mhm.
It's
And I think we do a really good job of that. Like just like defining the intangible that is love.
it's it's the most beautiful thing we have.
But it's like the fact that it's so out of reach, and within reach at the same time, is just ridiculous. And how we supposedly understand it so well through the and showcase it through all these forms of expression, of all these forms of media, like it's ridiculous too.
It's So I've been reading this book, man. It's called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist, and he was also a former professor of psychology at Harvard. Now he's currently in the University of Toronto, and he wrote this book called The 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. And he's talking about what this episode talks about, was going into the unknown, climbing over the wall. And he talks about finding meaning in. There are a few things when you're in the wilderness. Oh, they even described it as a wilderness, right?
Yeah.
They said, "Oh man, The wilderness, the darkness, the void. Those are all things that we humans have tried to capture this freaking thing and try to visualize it. The wilderness. Maybe our ancestors, when they were literally in the wilderness, they were literally getting eaten by jaguars and giant sloths. You know, that's the that's the wilderness. That's the wilderness
The
that
fear
they.
of the sloths.
And these are stories, like he says in the book. These are stories that have been passed down as knowledge. As, hey man, you're born into this world. You're an infant. You're dependent on your family. This is all from Jordan Peterson. You're dependent on your family, and then you try to find yourself. You try to find your group, and you're always trying to be safe. In everything you do, because life is a cold, brutal, seemingly like meaningless thing. But trying to find, just because it's like that doesn't mean we have to. We have the power to choose how we react to it. We can't choose. We can't change the way things are, but we can change the way we react to them. I'm sure that that's a form of line of thinking you've come across. We can control our own reactions, and in doing so, it makes whatever is like getting at us. It gives us a shield against it, knowing that, okay, you're gonna do that, bro. You're gonna make my family members sick. You're gonna rush me with unemployment. You're gonna just throw earthquakes in my city in Mexico. You're gonna do it with tsunamis. It makes it, the way you react to those things is paramount to not killing yourself, I think. And having a partner is the best way to do that. It's having the best way to.
Yeah, because I mean, some people are better at it than others, and I think you're in search of someone that's gonna sort of enhance your ability to react to those things in a way that doesn't make you worse than that event itself, right? So you always want to move forward or whatever, but then it just gets so difficult. It gets so difficult to move forward if you're just constant barrage of, you know, awful things, events happening in your life. But if you have someone who's like there with you and they're like also fighting those things, they have to be like almost like more in it than you.
They have to pick you up when you're down. You have to pick them up when they're down.
Because it just gets so difficult to just like to keep going sometimes, because there's like, what's the point of it all? You know, and then you start to fall into that question. That question just constantly comes up, keeps coming up. It's like, why am I even doing this? Why do I even give a shit? Like, why do I care? Why should I care?
Objectively, we shouldn't care about anything.
But, you know, this period of existence that you have can become defined by your experiences. Well, it will be defined by your experiences, but then it becomes how you yourself become who you are is defined by who you surround yourself with, I think. Because if you surround yourself with people that you know they're just constantly in the same state of darkness, or you're never gonna be able to progress in what we deem the normal way, or to live the normal life. Or you may be perfectly happy living in that darkness. That's where you revel the most. That's where you live. That's who you are, and that's okay. You go, you do your thing, but you have to.
It goes back to reacting to it. If you react to it, I mean,
yeah, you have to be able to. I don't know.
All I'm saying is that
come back from whatever's haunting you.
Yeah, the vast majority of people, there are some that go single their whole life, right?
Yeah.
And those are the people that just react to it differently. That's just how they see it. For the vast majority of people, they're like, I mean, doing this thing alone kind of sucks. I think you would want it to be a little less. Let me just go out and find someone who likes me, who likes me as a person, and we can do this thing together. And I mean, shout out to the person who does it by themselves. They got it. They can do that shit by themselves.
Yeah. And then sometimes like I'm okay with just doing it by myself, and I think I've like pretty much done that already.
Yeah, me too.
I've already just left. Really, like I moved out when I was 18 to go to college.
Back to the theme of the unknown. You've gone to the unknown many a times.
I just left, and then I went to college or whatever, did what I did, and I really haven't come back. Like, I've come and visit my mom. I just kind of just always, ever since then, I've just been, like, out there by myself. You know, I'll have friends and shit or whatever. And
in
I'll
the
have
wilderness.
Roommates, but, like, I've never really had anything with anyone, like, that's be gone like for a
That what you consider like a conventional relationship,
for
right?
extended period of time.
Right.
Man, am I like a loser or something? Like,
That's a thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then but then now I'm just like,
Masculinity.
like, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with being by myself. It's not a problem.
Right.
I've already done that for 7-8 years or whatever. I mean, I've done
Yeah.
it for 25 years, but like
Facts.
been truly by myself without the influence of anyone. Like it's been like since I was 18, right? So 6 years,
Right.
7 years.
That's what, and a lot of people. I know a lot of people that I mean, vast majority of people, they find a partner in less than what, like 15 or something,
Yeah.
and then they continue from then on. They jump, 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 jump. So it's like they're jumping from a spot to the next spot, to the next spot, to the next spot. Okay, we had some technical difficulties and we had to abruptly end.
There was a sandwich that was presented, and we had no
Yo,
idea where it came from.
We're not gonna turn down a free sandwich,
It
okay?
had to be eaten.
And I clicked the wrong button. I was supposed to click the pause button, but I was clumso and I clicked the stop button. So now I have about another 15 minutes worth of work trying to figure this out when I edit it later. But okay, I totally forgot what we were talking about. We were doing a really deep dive. It was 1:06. Well, when I edit it down, it'll probably be like 59 or something. But all right, we should just do it. We should just wrap it up here.
Yep. Wrap it up. Get the wrap it up box.
It was just Valentine's Day, and we saw this episode. Oh, dude, we fucking missed so many fucking points, man.
What?
We never talked about. We talked about it off, and you just explained it super quick. He was like, "Oh, he just wanted to know." Super curious, because I had asked him if why did he check the time if it was going so swell, and he just said, "Oh, because he just wanted to know." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then I kept eating my sandwich. So, well, I mean, we could. I don't want to do this, bro. I'm mentally fatigued.
Yeah, there's
But
a lot of
all right,
stuff.
just some things to let you know that we care. There are some things that we missed. One of those was why that happened. Why he decided to check.
The duration of the
I
relationship.
mean, we could have gone another 30 minutes on that alone, but and then there was another thing that we. What the hell? I forgot, dude. Okay, so now you can talk shit all you want because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm detached from this. How shit is gonna be, bro? We're like, all right, we're just gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that wrap it up box because we have lost our train of thought. The sandwich has derailed the conversation.
Yeah, it really did,
We
man.
apologize to our listeners, all three of them.
Oh yeah, shout out to every single one of you. You guys are super special souls, and we appreciate you so much. This follow us on social media. We only have like 9 followers. But follow us so you could be the 10th and the 11th.
Yeah, we'll put a plug in for you.
Dude, yeah, the 11th subscriber gets a shout out on the next. I will read your username out loud. Okay? I will
For the other 10 to hear you.
Yeah, for the other. I'm literally going to read you to 10 people. But if that's right up your alley, then go ahead and subscribe. There's been another episode of the One Euro Podcast with your host, Jorge Luis Moreno.
And your other host, Angel Silva. Fuck 'em. Peace out, fam.